This starting frame of this man might be one of the scariest still images I've ever seen in my life. But we're here to find out if his internet girlfriend is real. Thank you to Dell's Handheld Games, for this suggestion. We're gonna dive right into it. There's no game here. We're not playing about. We're gonna find out if she's a scammer or not. Well, the scammer's playing games on this man, but...
I mean, we talked about traveling and going places and doing stuff and going to restaurants and waking up next to each other and...
Bro.
Within a couple of weeks, the I love yous.
No way. What am I looking at here? Exactly. Donnie said, I love you, Mandingo. From my knowledge of the word Mandingo, it refers to the aubergine, and a large one at that. So, if we're going to if this man genuinely thinks anyone, especially much younger, will be calling his aubergine a Mandingo, fair enough, eh? Confidence isn't a thing in these victims. It's arrogance. You truly believe your aubergine is a Mandingo. If we're talking genetically modified aubergines, probably. Goodness. Where's the honey? Huh? Where's Boo? Where's Babe? Why have we called him Mandingo? It's like 5 seconds into the video.
And I want to be with yous and stuff started. Hey, that's why I reached out to you, to see if you guys could find out the truth.
Mark.
What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to another episode of Scamfish presented by socialcatfish.com.
They supposedly cloned me and convinced her to go to China to get some medication that I would need for my back.
On today's episode, we speak to a 64-year-old man named Mark from New York.
No, what have I been suggested here? What have I been suggested? Do you know how shit the other stories usually sound? Now we have cloning. Oh my god. I've been cloned and they've lured my girlfriend to China and she's been kidnapped and... Let's wake ourselves up for this one. I know a lot of people like to watch these in the mornings. Perk up. Sniff something. Smell the coffee. Sniff whatever Mark is sniffing, clearly. Don't, because you'd probably be arrested. And you'd also think that you have a Mandingo. I'm not going to move away from that fact, by the way. Look, I know men, right? Me included. Sometimes I think my aubergine is bigger than it is. But a Mandingo.
Mark's been in contact with a woman named Eileen who he met on the dating app Plenty of Fish. The two have been in contact for close to a year now. Eileen lived close by and the two were planning to meet up in person until she had to make a sudden trip to Spain after her mother suffered with a heart attack. Mark is having doubts Eileen may not be who she claimed to be after sending her nearly $30,000 to essentially fund her life while helping her mother in Spain. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this.
She's in Spain, but she's given Mark, if you rearrange the left panes, she swapped the S, put it at the end, because this will never end for Mark. Do you find that funny? Are you laughing? Right? Laugh.
Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Don't do that.
Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
But you already are. Speak.
Hi, Social Catfish. This is Mark. I
Hello.
am a wheelchair user. I had a spinal cord tumor when I was a baby. That has not really slowed me down. I became a healthcare professional.
Nice.
Was in practice for close to 30 years. For the past 24 years, I had been with my significant other. We had 2 kids. I preferred to have held on to it. We were never officially married, so there was no divorce per se. She was working, I was working. It just didn't ever happen. When the kids went out of the house and I was home all the time because of COVID, I guess it was just too much strain on the relationship. And we sort of, well, not mutually, but decided to live in separate places.
Okay.
Going to be alone was sort of scary and depressing.
Understandable.
At that point, I figured I could try to meet somebody, online dating. You know, I know I'm intelligent. I know I'm pretty funny. I'm personable, and I know it's also difficult to find a woman who's willing to accept her man being in a wheelchair.
Apart from the Mandingo and believing that you've been cloned, it was going well. Then you called yourself intelligent. That's a big no-no on this show. Don't do it to yourself, because it gives me free reign to have a swing. But I'm not going to, because I can empathize with his situation. Now, of course, it being COVID, and of course I can't empathize or understand fully, because I wasn't, of course, with someone to such an extensive period of time, and then we just went our separate ways. But I can understand how alone it was. Especially I was going through some health struggles during the pandemic, which, to be honest, it kind of served well in the sense that everything was locked down, so I couldn't really go anywhere anyway. But of course, it was very lonely, and I'm posing the question because I see it a lot. I see the debates on the Twitter apps, of course. Marriage, not married, having children, right? To be together that long, and of course have children, and not be married, it would be frowned upon to a lot of people. Now, in my instance, I say instance as if I have kids. I don't. Hopefully.
Stop it. Get some help.
In my case, I think I would like to be married before I have children. Just because, I don't know, does it make it easier? Of course, some people watching this might be thinking that I'm very naive and I don't know everything, and I've admitted it openly as well. And I don't have certain life experiences that would make me understand certain things, if that makes sense. So I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments. If you have children, if you perhaps do not have children, did you wait until marriage, for example? In a story like this, it's heartbreaking. But let me know your thoughts. Obviously answer the question. If you don't have children, for example, or if you do have children, did you wait for marriage? Or if you don't have children, are you waiting for marriage and then you can have children? Or are you like in between, where if it happens, it happens, and hopefully you are with someone who truly loves you, and after having children, they still around. Obviously, I don't know what happened between them. I guess he mentioned the working aspect, but not sure. We'll never really know with these stories, do we?
After setting up his dating profile on Plenty of Fish, Mark came across a woman's profile by the name of Eileen.
And now, it's where we get, very concerning, right? I understand why he would go on to online dating, given the pandemic. I think everyone pretty much was online. But to genuinely think that, not anything to do with your wheelchair, by the way, but I'm choking up. to genuinely think someone who I'm presuming, I mean, she looks like she's in her 20s or something, would want to be with you. Not saying, of course, there are plenty of people out there who prefer to be with older individuals, but the likelihood of that, it is actually quite slim, right? Mark, come on now.
He thought she was attractive, so he messaged her.
I met her on Plenty of Fish in July of 22. It turns out that her real name was Eileen. And
as opposed to
I just said, well, I'm interested that you are a nurse assistant looking to become an RN, and I think that's really cool. I respect the fact that you're trying to improve yourself. And she says, well,
look. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the way to approach anyone is to do some cheesy pickup line, but sometimes it works, right? If you're the same age, it can give off good, breaking the ice vibes. But this type of message, to me, it screams as the father speaking to the daughter, I respect the fact that you're trying to improve yourself. I'm not sure that's as a first message. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments. It just doesn't fit, Surely there are women on Plenty of Fish who are similar in age to him. But of course, another man who thinks that they deserve a younger woman. I hope that's not the case, but I mean, from what I'm seeing, it's probably the case.
And she says, well, thank you. And, I'd like to meet up with you if you'd like, given that you're living fairly close to here. And she said that would be great. We did not actually ever speak or see each other. We'd been communicating by text. She was always telling me she had a Google phone and it was not set up for video. I've found that somewhat unusual since I thought everybody had a phone that could do video. But
so, going back to the part where you said you're intelligent, any alarm bells? Are they not ringing in your head? Do you know, it's interesting that the victims who have been in relationships before, right? I don't understand. When I learn how to speak and not malfunction, that would be great.
Didn't ask.
I don't understand their relationship from the past. It obviously wasn't like this, right? There obviously must not have been so many red flags, and I'm assuming, right? Because they got together, had children. Editing H here, back again with another interjection. Because when I'm recording these, shock horror, my brain is moving at like 1,000 miles an hour, right? What's that song? I would walk 500... Vanessa Carlton, or Charlton. Something. But amazing song. Can we stay on topic? Anyway, I want to clarify that I'm not naive to the fact that even in toxic/abusive relationships, people just end up having children, right? It just happens, right? And that means that now they stay together for the children. And they might not even love each other, right? I'm not naive to the fact. So when I say it's, I assume there's no red flags because they had children. You shut the hell up, Recording H. Shut the hell up. But I'm going to leave that in because we keep it real. I'm not perfect. Far from it. And when I'm recording, sometimes my brain is just... right? Doesn't really think because I'm trying to entertain at the same time. So yeah, I just needed to clarify that. It's a good thing Editing H exists. Otherwise, I would be... What am I on about? Back to the video. So, when you go and look somewhere else. You move on, whatever the reason might be that you called it off and you just decided to go separate ways. Why do we then abandon all common sense regarding relationships? It's very concerning. And I know probably the reason is she's local-ish and young and attractive. Genuinely, that is the only reason that we're going to look past all the red flags in the hope that I could be with someone who's essentially going to be eye candy on my arm, right?
I guess I was wrong. She seemed intelligent. She seemed emotionally mature. And she
What is this face she's making?
What she wanted from life. Well, she told me she was 45.
What?
So, I mean, between 45 and 60 is not that tremendous a deal.
I take everything back then. I take everything back, huh? Because everyone knows my stance on age gap relationships. But 60, 45, I don't really give a shit, right? My concern is, of course, when it becomes crazy. And if she was like 18, I'd have a problem. But really? Are we genuinely believing that's a 45-year-old woman? Don't get me wrong, if the actual woman behind Eileen's pictures here is 45, then she looks great for 45. But she's not going to be 45. I'm guessing mid-20s or something. So, get a grip of yourself here, Mark. Editing H interjecting once again, because I like to ask questions to everyone that supports me. Let me know your thoughts. I like to read them, We don't always maybe see eye to eye, but I like to just see what other people are thinking. I want to pose the question, 60 and 45. Is that a big deal? As I said, I don't think it is. My concern would be, obviously, this 60-year-old man if he was trying to go after, because that's essentially what it is. You don't try and spark a relationship 60 with an 18-year-old. You're going after them, right? If that makes sense. But 45, 15 years, especially they are both adults, like proper adults. I don't think that's a big deal. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
People want to be together. It's not like I'm 60 and going out with a 20-year-old.
Thank you.
I called her.
So for everyone in the comments who perhaps might be typing that I'm a sicko for not agreeing with a 60-year-old going out with an 18, 20-year-old, Marcus said it himself. So, you know what? Fair play, actually, to Mark. Well done.
HK for Honeycat, or IQ for Inca Queen.
Sorry?
Because she said she was from Peru. And she called me MW, Mandingo Warrior. I don't know how she came up with it. I mean, I thought Mandingo was like something from like Roots or some show on TV.
What?
How she came up with it, I asked her, and she says, well,
Big
you're
aubergine.
my warrior.
Oh.
I was like, oh, okay.
Have I just, misconstrued what a Mandingo actually is? I swear it's a massive aubergine. Or maybe I'm just wrong. I'm wrong many times. Someone let me know, but keep the comment clean, because YouTube will slap you and, remove it, so... What is a Mandingo? Clearly I'm wrong, and I don't want to go search it, because I definitely can't show whatever I search.
I was sort of tickled by the fact that she had a name for me, so I accepted it.
Yeah, sure.
She said that she really wanted to be with me.
Oh my goodness.
She, was going to keep me up for 3 nights and not let me go to sleep because I was going to make up for all the lost time that she hasn't been with somebody. I was like...
Right. That's great on you, Mark. Genuinely. I'm not salty about that at all, that a woman wants to keep you up for 3 nights straight. And it's a man in his shit-stained boxers, probably in an internet cafe, maybe in his own home, probably a mansion. How many people he's scammed, probably. Must be nice. But I don't think that sounds healthy. Maybe it's interesting. Goodness, this might be the most adult episode ever, but I pose the question to everyone watching this. Of course, if you're over the age of 18, you know, if you're not, then cover your ears or something. But have you had intercourse for 3 days straight? I don't think that's healthy. After a while, you know, surely you're firing blanks. Nothing is quite literally coming out. But let me know. Or don't, actually, because this comment section would probably look like an orgy.
Well, yeah, that sounds
yes, but yeah, sure. I mean, to Mark, it would sound interesting.
A lot of innuendo and a lot of
yes, we love that here.
Talking and stuff. There was certainly a component of lust there because she was sending me pictures.
What is going on here? Who took this picture? I'm so confused. Mark, let's get a grip of ourselves here and ask questions. What's going on here? That blue thing, what is that? Some kind of iron press? Is she studying? I'm confused.
Dressed and undressed states. Within a couple of weeks, the I love yous, you know, and I want to be with yous and stuff.
Let me get the red flag for a second here. Someone commented, actually, that it's dark orange. I don't know if you're pulling my leg, but, you know, it's red. Just the lighting makes it dark orange. Chocolate orange, you could say. Why? Because a ball... I love you too. After a few weeks, I'm not sure if you can truly love someone that you've never met. I'm sorry if that seems harsh. Someone, of course, in the comments might have a different experience. Perhaps you have actually fallen in love with someone and you've just texted, etc. But surely, let's put aside if it's a scam or not, right? Let's put that aside. Let's say it's real. If it was real, surely the person that, you know, you're exchanging I love you, surely her broken camera, she would make an attempt at, you know, somehow, either if they're local, of course, to meet up or somehow go to an internet cafe, get on the webcams, have a chat, no? But, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Can you truly love someone? This is a rhetorical question, to be honest. You probably don't even need to answer it. I know the answer, no. But can you love someone without ever seeing them? I think that's the most ridiculous fairy tale that these victims sell themselves. But hey, each to their own. Loneliness really can get the better of you, huh? But I must emphasize, a lot of people in this world are lonely. And a lot of people do not resort to this. Hopefully you didn't send money. But we'll get to that, I guess.
It just sort of became the background for all our other discussions.
But you're not making an attempt here, Eileen.
We want to be together. We love each other and things like that.
Mark and Eileen spoke for a few days over text.
Unless it's still pandemic and lockdown times when they're speaking. So I could understand, actually, if they're not meeting up. So...
They were planning to meet up, but things went left when Eileen had to take a trip to Spain to help her mother, who was hospitalized. So Eileen immediately hopped on the next flight from New York to Spain and let Mark know she had arrived.
Then she's in the ICU, and then she's been ventilated on a respirator. She was like, "Yeah, you know, I really want to meet up with you." And
I take it back. I said hopefully he didn't send money. I think he did mention he sent money to fund her life and take care of the mother. What an idiot I am.
You know, but I can't leave Spain until mom's okay. I completely understand that.
I mean, yes, it's understandable.
I would do the same. She talked a lot about, you know, she was worried that her mother might die, and she was in a strange country, and she wasn't eating well, and she was at the hospital.
These are all fair
so
points.
many hours a day, and when she wasn't at the hospital, she was studying.
Right.
You know, I keep her apprised with the things I'm doing. You know, I wish you were with me. And she's like, I really would like to be there with you. And it was always wish you were here and that kind of stuff. But it was an unusual initial phase of a relationship. Plus, it was only text.
Eileen's mother was in critical condition. She had left all of her money in New York and was locked out of her bank account.
Oh, there you go. There's a red flag. You idiot, Eileen. Don't get me wrong. Oh my God, the trauma that Eileen is experiencing right now. In a real situation, of course. Understandable. This is probably one of the more believable stories. Of course, when we get to the cloning aspect, goodness, what the hell? But so far, it's believable unto that point. When you are trekking across the world to go to your mother who's had a heart attack, I'm not sure you would leave your money behind. That doesn't make sense to me. And also, surely cards work abroad. So I'm not sure why your bank account is now frozen. Have you committed a crime? Is that what we're going to find out? It was going so well, the story.
This is when things took a big turn.
The first time that Eileen asked me for money was so that she could get food when she was in Spain. And she needed to pay the hospital some money for her mother in Spain.
Okay.
Where she said she was. All right, if I care about somebody and, I have to trust that they're telling me the truth, and I sent her some money.
Is it a red flag? I don't want to say it's a red flag on any individual right now, but maybe in regards to Eileen, it's a red flag because I get it, you're in love and whatever, but I'm not sure how many people within the first few weeks of meeting would ask you to pay for their own mother's surgery. Not sure. And also, not sure if... Well, first of all, the mother would have insurance, surely. And if she didn't, perhaps, you would know that as the daughter and bring money with you, because that would be the logical thing to do. Now, I know, traumatic experience going on. Perhaps you had a brain lapse, you just forgot. Where's the father in this instance? We didn't mention him. I'm not sure if... look, I get it, right? Mark wants to be the knight in shining armor here. It looks good. Yeah, I'm going to help you. But I think I need to make it perfectly clear for everyone watching this that even if you are speaking to someone for a few weeks, it doesn't mean that you're obligated to now help them if something goes wrong. I know that might be harsh, and of course everyone's relationship is going to be different, but don't feel like you're pressured into having to do it. Mark, of course, here is going to say, yeah, I wanted to do it, etc. But, a good question is, if the scammer never asks, hey, can you send me money? Do you think the victims would send money? I'm not sure if we've seen a story where voluntarily they've sent money. But maybe they have. I've watched too many of these. But yeah, please, look after yourself, of course. Obviously, him being in a wheelchair as well. Other than him being in a wheelchair, he seems to be healthy. So perhaps he doesn't mind splashing the cash. But I get it, right? Probably the father instincts in him kick in. Obviously, she's 45. So not exactly father, but you get my point, hopefully.
Then it was her birthday, so I sent her a little money for her birthday present.
All right,
sure. We weren't together, so she could, she purchased something there.
It makes sense.
The first time she asked me for a substantial amount of money was for her airfare ticket to go back to Peru.
Whoa. I'm not sure. Well, of course, I don't know. So someone will educate me in the comments, of course. But after suffering a heart attack, that's serious and you need surgery, they're just going to let her fly? What's the time period here between surgery and wanting to fly to Peru? Sure, I guess.
At some point, a check was sent to me in her name, for her, to my mailing address for $132,000.
Sorry. let's just listen. I'm so sorry if anyone actually has this as a name. Doings. Doings. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone having doings in their name. But hey, they are real.
What the hell are you talking about?
$2 that she said was because she sold the boat that she inherited from her father, and she sold her Mercedes SUV. And all along she's like, well, I have this money, and anything you send me, I'll reimburse you when we're together. I wanted to believe her, so I did. And so I was sending her money to support herself. And
once someone tells you that they have a check, surely you tell them, how about when you get here, somehow you get here, you can cash out the check and leave me alone so I don't have to keep sending you money. Mark very much here is relying on false hope heavily. And it's concerning. It's concerning.
Well, things got a little out of hand when Mark was messaged by hackers who claimed they had cloned him. These hackers managed to get Eileen to think that Mark needed her to go to China to get some special medicine he needed for his back. Eileen supposedly took the bait and hopped on the plane to China.
First of all, you can't fly from Spain to Peru, but somehow now you have the money to fly from Peru to China. And I also don't think you'd go, this direction. Surely you'd go, anti-clockwise, because it will be shorter. But okay, sure. I mean, isn't it wonderful that instead of Eileen asking Mark, hey, are you in China, by the way? And him saying, no. Well done, Eileen. So stupid.
They supposedly cloned me and convinced her to go to China to get some medication that I would need for my back.
Look. See what I mean? He's asking questions. So she didn't bother to check with Mark if he was actually in China. She just believed it. I'm off. See you later. Where's the mother in this situation, by the way? Did she just leave the mother back in Peru? Sorry, Mum, you've had heart surgery and stuff. I'm just going to leave, though, by the way, because my boyfriend's in China, apparently. I wouldn't want to continue speaking to Eileen. One, she seems very, very naive. I'm naive, but I wouldn't believe someone is in a different country without actually messaging that someone and confirming. Two, I wouldn't leave my mother after she just had a heart attack and surgery. Yeah, stay there. I'll be right back. This is not red flag. That's not a good person. Bottles are flying everywhere.
Was then supposedly tricked into going to China to pick up this medicine for me. She's insisting she's in China.
As of today, the hackers have kidnapped Eileen and are holding her hostage until Mark pays the $14,000.
First of all, if that's the actual picture that they're using, I'd probably give them money as well, because what in the hell is that? Second of all, what do you mean, what medicine? Aren't you in China? You told me. Wouldn't he message you from the same number that you've been communicating on? Incredible. Honestly.
Then there's this other issue where hacker supposedly arranges for what she calls PMCs, private military contractors.
Why?
To go rescue her from wherever she is in Guangzhou.
I'm scared. Please help me. Please help me understand the situation here. What hackers? I've never known a hacker to kidnap someone. I thought they were hackers and not kidnappers. Otherwise, hacking kidnappers. What a LinkedIn profile that would be, eh? Job title, hacking kidnapper. Why was Eileen involved? Why did they target her? Why? Of all people, why Eileen? This is concerning, Mark. Concerning. What is that? It's Mark.
They're like, well, it's going to cost $14,000 to extract her from China.
But why?
I told my friends about her, and they said, what, are you crazy? It's a scam. It's a total scam, and it's an obvious scam. I don't know if it is or it isn't.
Come on.
And I didn't want it to be, so I persisted, even though, like, my family and my friends said, you're nuts.
Wait. That's, I don't want to wave the red flag here, but I don't want it to be a lie. So that means you would want her to be kidnapped right now. That's what it means. So, what a man, Mark. He really thinks he's a hero, isn't it? Like, all the victims have some type of, superiority complex. Is that the right thing to say here? No, it's just not the right thing. It's just not. Thinking they can save people. No!
This story seems so far-fetched, yet a part of Mark feels like it could be true. He enjoyed communicating with Eileen, and the fact that someone could possibly be in danger haunts him every day.
I could have seen being with her, for a long time. But, we talked about traveling and going places and doing stuff and going to restaurants and waking up next to each other and, her going back to school and those things. So we had talked about the possibilities of a future and a real life.
The real woman is actually doing, by the way.
If you were to tell me Eileen was real, I would feel really bad. I, would feel really bad.
Well,
at this point, I sort of hope that she's not real, because if she was real, then I up. Hey,
whoa! Whoa! Cover your ears! There. What the hell have you just done here? That might be the first time outside of, like, Trilogy Media appearances that I'm gonna have to bleep out an F-bomb. Mark! How dare you?
To see if you guys could find out the truth.
Well, Seekers, Eileen was still requesting money from Mark until this day to get out of whatever hole she was in. We had a lot to look into, and we needed to make sure we researched everything.
By the way, the fact that they've allowed her to still text despite being kidnapped, and the messages she says is, hello, are you going to say something to me? That doesn't scream danger to me. Let's look at this. United States Department of State, by the way. Nice. Unless that's actually real and maybe I've looked a fool. I love the black background of your passport picture. I love your signature at the top there. That definitely says Eileen Doings once again. Where's your okay, your surname is up there in very small font, by the way. The passport office, whatever you call it, wanted to emphasize. This is Eileen Doings, by the way, not Adkins.
Yes, the stories were obviously unreal, but if Eileen was telling the truth, that would mean she would actually be in danger. This case became a priority for us. We had to first verify this woman's real name. After using all the tools on our website, socialcatfish.com, our team was able to find out the truth about who Eileen really was. The hackers were still threatening Mark, and he was anxious to hear back from us. So we sat down with him and went over everything we were able to find.
I've seen David and
Real
Drew
quick,
together.
guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
But you already are.
If she's a real person, I would prefer to be with her. If she's a scam, or it's not even a she or whoever, then I want to hit them where they hit me.
What
are your conversations with Eileen like lately?
She texted me and said that, oh, I'm back in Peru with my mother.
What?
I was like, yeah, I mean, she just never stops that lie.
I want to go over a bunch of stuff with you. So
I want to go over a bunch of stuff. How has she ended up back in Peru? Did he pay for her to be released from the kidnappers, the hacking kidnappers? Or did they hack his bank account and take the money themselves? What's happened here? She's ended up back in Peru. How?
Into everything that you gave us, right? And so the first thing that I want to go over is the passport that she sent you. When you got that passport initially, what was your initial thought?
Well, since I didn't know what a passport really looks like, I was like, oh, all right.
Do you know, I know obviously he did mention he wanted to go traveling with her, so I'm assuming maybe traveling just within the United States. But it's interesting, we'll say, because I don't want to say it's concerning, because if you don't realistically need a passport, then you're not going to have one. But I find it very interesting just how many of these victims don't know what a passport looks like. Of course, and I've read in the comments as well, people just, sometimes they don't need passports. You don't need it when you're traveling within the US, if I remember correctly. But I think it's different in the UK. If I was to go up to Scotland, for example, I'd need my passport. So it's interesting. Let me know your thoughts. Do you have a passport? Don't put your details or anything. Just say, yes or no.
Maybe she's legitimate.
I mean,
this passport was 100% fake. The solid background on Eileen's photo was a dead giveaway that it had been photoshopped.
Of course.
If this was a real passport, the background would either be white or off-white.
Well.
What else can you point out that's been photoshopped on this passport?
Everything.
Comment down below.
Everything.
Initially, when you got the passport, did that make you feel at peace with, sending her money?
It made me feel like, hey, maybe this is a real person.
Do you know, that makes me believe that even if you don't need a passport, I think it's good to just educate yourself on what an actual passport looks like, because it's one of those documents that is easily going to be available for scammers to use. ID cards, for example, is another one. So if you can just figure out or do a little bit of research, what does it look like? Even before you end up in this position, of course. I think it's just handy. It's useful to know. I think so anyway. Let me know your thoughts on that.
So yeah, I felt a little more confident.
So Mark, we took a look at the Cash App transactions that you made to Tracy, Robert, Larry, and Alan. We were able to verify that all of these people were real, and they were all those real people's Cash Apps.
These people are actually money mules, and they were told a similar story as you. Hey, look, can you send it to this person and they'll give it to me? And so, this does a few things. This makes you feel more confident, and because you're sending it to a real person. I mean, you even go into Cash App and you pull up the profile, and there's a real picture behind it.
All of the people that Mark had sent money to were
I must make it clear that just because someone has a picture on Cash App, it doesn't necessarily make them real. I'd like to just clarify that. But then again, I'm not a Cash App user. So I don't know. Is it similar to WhatsApp? Like anyone can just make it. You put a picture. Or I'm assuming because it's cash related, you actually have to verify yourself. So perhaps I take it back. I'm not a Cash App user.
Victims in other scams. It's common for scammers to use their victims to move money around.
Oh, yes, makes sense.
As you know, we have a reverse image search. Often it takes more than just running a search, to find out who the person is. But we are actually able to track down and find out who the person in the images is. It's actually an adult film actress. Her name's Nolly Rocks.
Nolly Rocks.
Yeah. No wonder there were so many pictures of her.
It turns out the woman in these photos is not Eileen. These photos were stolen from adult film actress Nolly Rocks. We were able to find her Facebook and Pinterest profiles.
Nolly Rocks.
She does not have a mother in Peru, and she is not from New York either.
Nolly
Rocks is a victim just like Mark.
Yes.
Her photos were copied and pasted onto this profile to dupe innocent people out of money.
It poses the question, you know, like if Cash App, for example, if you have to verify yourself, shouldn't that be a thing on dating apps as well? Obviously, I don't use dating apps, so I'm not too clued up on them. But I'm pretty sure from videos I've seen where, you know, YouTubers, for example, they pretend to be their friend or who's another YouTuber, and then they go and rizz up, right? They pretend to be their friend and, you know, go get them dates. I'm pretty sure you don't actually have to verify you are real. So that's concerning. That should be a thing. I don't know if there's any privacy complications with that. But it's interesting that dating apps where you meet people in person most of the time, they just don't verify that you're real.
Let me ask you this. Did you look at the Annabelle Eamon lead there? Because I have a feeling that she might have been behind the whole thing.
So we actually pulled the emails for both those people, Eileen and Annabelle. So you know, when you register a Google account, you put whatever name is your name and you attach to that Google account. Well, both emails were both registered under the same name. So they both had the exact same name attached to them, Annabelle.
When Annabelle texted me and when Eileen texted me, the syntax, the errors, the grammar were all really similar.
So we pulled the cryptocurrency that you had sent, but the last wallet address that you had sent us had thousands of dollars go through that wallet from November up until early January. And that wallet had money deposited out of it into 2 South African exchanges. So the interesting thing about this is Africa outlawed crypto like a few years ago. Wow. These exchanges are not supposed to be around anymore and supposed to be active. In fact, the funds were supposed to be frozen in these accounts, or people had to move the money out of the accounts. People are still using these accounts today, and so the money that you had sent, including there's other people that have been sending money to these accounts, ended up in these. One was a Nigerian exchange, and the other was a South African exchange.
So actually, my lawyer was right.
Lawyer?
And I have good taste in women, but I'm pretty stupid when it comes to scamming. I forced myself to believe something that sort of realistically is unbelievable.
Yes.
And I just want to say, Mark, like this is like a super common scam. It's usually an actress of some sort with a lot of content online. Do you think that had something to do with you falling for this?
I've never seen her before, and I'm not really into, or you know.
Yes.
So I doubt it. You know, when here's an attractive woman saying, you know, it makes no difference that I'm in a wheelchair, and they find me very attractive.
I understand.
And we're having all kinds of discussions about all kinds of things. You know, of course, with a little sprinkling of, you know, what I'm going to do to you when I come to you from Peru or Spain. I was like, you know, then your alarm signals get dulled.
The thing about these scams, Mark, is, you know, they play with every single emotion, right? Obviously, there's the sexual emotion, but it's your heart and the wanting to be needed, and, you know, the conversation and just having somebody around. And so, you know, especially through COVID.
Mandingo.
So, you know, these are the worst types of scams there are, because they last for months and months or years and years. And it's not like just going online and actually buying something or clicking on a button and just making a quick mistake. These are things that happen over a long period of time, and they're trying to groom you. And that's why you got everything you got. You got pictures and you got passports. And other people reaching out to you to build this story and make you really question yourself.
if it had been real, the stories would have made a great novel.
Sure.
Yeah, actually, it'll be a good film as well.
Oh well. I
What's
guess
an
I won't
adult
be
film,
writing
by the
the
way?
next great novel.
Let's just clarify. Not an adult film. No one's coming to the door and saying, babe, I've been kidnapped by hackers. They're inputting code in me into the machine. What am I on about?
Well, hopefully you'll be writing the next great chapter of your life. How's that?
That would be
Oh,
fun.
I like that.
That would be good. Well,
They
hopefully,
missed, but
hopefully your mouth to God's ears.
Eileen still claims the hackers are trying to harm her
Bro,
and that she
she's in
still
Peru,
needs
though.
money. The next day, Mark ended up blocking Eileen,
Good.
and we're working with him to report everything
Mark,
in
babe,
hopes to
what
get
is going
some of his
on?
money
You're supposed
back.
to be kidnapped, you fool.
Thank you everyone for tuning in. Remember, all of our new videos go out
Tuesday?
every Wednesday, so please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, Seekers, we'll see you guys next time.
Okay, you will. By the way, in the recent episodes, Drew has actually stopped saying all our episodes come out on a Wednesday. I find that pretty funny, given the past, you know, some episodes have come out later than expected. Is that funny? Probably not, but I like to see humor in everything because coping mechanism. Maybe I need therapy. What's the main take point from here? I think the main take point is, to be honest, I actually don't think Mark was too badly scammed. Maybe. Maybe I'm just too used to seeing absolute shitheads on this show, and Mark, kind of a breath of fresh air in terms of how he speaks about people. But then obviously, actually there is no obviously, because, you know, the scammer, you know, Eileen claimed to be 45 and him being like 60, it's actually not a big deal. So there's actually like no, you know, faults to pick out other than, you know, him believing that she got kidnapped and then somehow she ended up escaping the kidnappers, apparently. But they're still trying to harm her, even though she escaped. I don't understand. So the main take point is, if someone tells you that they've been kidnapped by hackers, tell them, I'm sorry, I don't have a computing degree, I can't help you. Take care of yourselves online, please. And know that you can't buy someone's love, alright? I know you want to feel like a hero in their story, but sometimes a hero sits back and does nothing. What a shit quote. I'll see you guys on the next one. Any recommendations you have, drop it in the comments. See you next time. What? I've malfunctioned 3 times, I think, in this episode. Take care of yourselves. As always, the playlist is up here somewhere. Oh my, did you hear that? I'm withering away.